Thank you so much, guys, for turning to this brand new video. Vice President JD Vance stood in front of police officers and he promised that I will protect them from violent criminals. And after that, whole crowd goes silent. There was a complete silence in the room. First of all, take a look what he just said.
I'm going to say it. JD Vance may be one of the worst politicians in America. He has a vacuous personality.
Worse than President Trump. He's the upcoming
very,
president
very
of
bland.
USA, by the way. JD Vance, are you going to accept JD Vance as a president of USA in 2028 elections?
He's basically just like a rock that has absolutely no aura, no motion. He just stands there on stage and repeats what he thinks Trump wants to hear without any actual soul. Well, today, JD Vance was speaking at the National Peace Officers
Total Trump administration repeats what Trump just said. They only repeat that.
memorial service. And people compared this speech to previous year's speeches that JD Vance gave, like last year, or 2 years ago when it was still the Biden administration and they gave a speech. And the applause this year around is almost non-existent. It's like the people in the crowd know that JD Vance is the least captivating politician in America. We have no time to waste. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe below. And let's listen to what JD Vance had to say here. I also want you to listen to the applause. He literally pauses to leave space for these claps, but they just never really come. Listen.
Fine. Thank you. We have to remember that epidemic of violence that we experienced over the last few years, you can never get rid of evil. You're always going to have terrible people who want to do the worst things. But allowing so many of those people free rein, allowing so many of them to strike at our law enforcement officers, ladies and gentlemen, that was a policy choice. And I make this solemn promise to every single person here that so long as Donald J. Trump is the president and so long as I am the vice president, we will never again let policymakers in the building behind us allow violent criminals to tee off on our police officers.
Are we kidding here? Are we being gaslit here? Vice President JD Vance is literally describing the 1,000 plus, the 1,600 January 6th rioters that were pardoned on day one of Trump's term. One of them stuck a taser in a cop's neck. One of them beat a cop with an American flag. Many of them pushed cops, smashed them into doors, physically abused police officers because they deemed those police officers as enemies because Trump himself had convinced them so. Trump himself had convinced his most radical, rabid supporters that these Capitol officers were the enemy of the United States and they were protecting Mike Pence and Joe Biden with their plot. Now Vice President JD Vance has the goal to stand on stage and act like he is a part of the administration that is against this type of violence. You know, I think that we should be tough on crime, but we should be tough on all crime. Whether you are somebody who has a mask and a badge, like ICE officers, or whether you are somebody who is a repeated murderer. It's absolutely fine to say that a repeated murderer should go to prison, but we should also hold the people accountable who have a badge and a gun. JD Vance doesn't seem to think so. He doesn't seem to think any standards apply to the Republican Party where they can just pardon J6ers. Let's listen to what he said one more time. Like, listen to this part right here.
Because Donald J. Trump is the president, and so long as I am the vice president, we will never again let policymakers in the building behind us allow violent criminals to tee off on our police officers. We will fight for you just as you fight for us every single day.
Is he talking to a crowd of J6ers right now? Who is he fighting for? I don't even understand. To continue, Vance wraps up his speech a few minutes later to very tepid applause. Credit to Aaron Rupar for this clip.
God bless the fallen, and may he continue to bless the great United States of America. Thank you for having me.
Do you like Vice President JD Vance, like how he speak in front of public, and do you really think he can run for a president in 2028? I might be wrong, but in my opinion, he is not confident. He only repeats what President Trump just says. That's all what he says.
You can hear each individual clapping here. Like I can almost count it. If I were Rain Man, I would be able to count how many individuals are clapping. This brings me over to Mike Johnson and Marco Rubio. Other people within the administration, we'll return to JD Vance in 1 second, but other people within the administration are also really struggling to defend the ongoing Iran war and the failed Chinese summit that Donald Trump just did. Here is Marco Rubio talking about Taiwan. China has been posturing towards Taiwan for a while. They do not want Taiwan to be sovereign. They want to invade them. The United States.
So, what's the position of the United States? Like Rubio is going to soften the issue of Taiwan. Let's see what he says.
Has had a strategy of what they call strategic ambiguity, where we don't really say what we do if China invaded Taiwan. This strategic ambiguity is supposed to act as a deterrent, so China doesn't know how hard we'll go if they try. Here is Marco Rubio essentially softening our stance on Taiwan. Mike Johnson gets asked about this, and guess what? He says he doesn't really know what happened.
To the other topics. We know where they stand, and I think they know where we stand.
Do you think China wants to invade Taiwan?
Well, I think China's preference is probably to have Taiwan willingly, voluntarily join them. In a perfect world, what they would want is some vote or a referendum in Taiwan that...
What kind of dumbass answer is this? Like, yeah, in a perfect world, Vladimir Putin would just have Ukraine join peacefully, but that doesn't mean we can strip away the sovereignty or undermine it.
Taiwan willingly, voluntarily join them. In a perfect world, what they would want is some vote or a referendum in Taiwan that agrees to fold in. I think that's what they would prefer. Ultimately, it's featured prominently in President Xi's mandate.
Yeah, I have listened a lot of times from President Trump's mouth like President Xi is my friend, President of China is my friend, President of Russia is my friend. Now I can see the impact. Like I was literally thinking about what benefits USA will get from China. Tour president was, in China. But now I have to think about what benefits China is getting after President Trump visit to China. I have a question for you. Can you tell me what benefits China is getting after this visit of President Trump?
In the time he's been in office, he's made clear that what they call reunification, that's what they call it, is something that has to happen at some point. We think it would be a terrible mistake to force that through force or anything of that nature. There would be repercussions for that.
It wouldn't just be a terrible mistake. It would be a massive violation of the same international law that has allowed the world to not devolve into another global war since World War II. Here is Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, being asked about Donald Trump's softening stance on Taiwan, being asked about these comments, not the specific Rubio ones, but other comments Trump had made. I thought this was interesting because guess what Mike Johnson says?
On foreign policy, should President Trump have been more committal when it comes to Taiwan during his visit to China?
I haven't seen I've been really busy the last couple of days, so I haven't seen the exact readout on how that discussion went. I've heard I heard a couple little comments offhand of what he said. He feels like they had a very productive meeting. They talked about some really important issues, and I'm awaiting.
He flew all the way over to China just to talk about important issues. We couldn't do that over the phone. The reason why Donald Trump brought all these business leaders, the Boeing CEO, his entire cabinet, is because he thought he was going to shake up the global order and make a deal with Xi Jinping. He got absolutely nothing. The 500 Boeing order that Xi was going to make ended up going down to 200, and now Trump is still trying to declare victory.
What I have seen is JD Vance making promises about protecting police officers while standing in the shadow of pardons he supported. You have got Rubio softening America's language on Taiwan in a way that shifts real geopolitical leverage. And you have got Speaker of the House saying he hasn't caught up on the biggest foreign policy event of the week. Can you believe? And that's why the common people of USA, they are turning against Trump administration nowadays. And it's very bad situation for President Trump. Midterms are coming, and I think you will see the results of how people will vote against President Trump, against Republican Party. In my opinion, President Trump is going to lose midterms. Yeah, that's what I say. Every reports is saying, every polls even on Fox News, they are saying 65% people of USA, they are not happy with President Trump. Only 35% people are happy with President Trump. Are you one of them? Are you happy with President Trump? Do let me know in the comment section. And again, I have a question for you. What benefits did China got from this visit of President Trump? Media is talking about what benefits US is getting from this visit, but my question is, what benefits China got from this visit, as we were seeing the softening language on Taiwan issue. So what do you want to say? What's your opinion? Please let me know in the comment section, guys. I'm a student of US politics and you're the teacher. You have to teach me the correct politics of USA. Please consider subscribing if you're new to this channel. It actually helps me a lot when you click on the subscribe button. I'll bring more important videos for you. Till then, please take care of yourself and please take care of your health as well. It's really very important.